The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys! This is Talkin Cowboys. Streaming live from the Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star in Frisco.
C.D. Lamb, touchdown.
Parsons has sacked it. Prescott keeps it, and he bangs it in for the touchdown.
And now your hosts, Isaiah Stanback, Patrik Walker, Josh Rodriguez, and Kyle Youmans.
Dallas Cowboys is the gold team of the
Talkin Cowboys, presented by Black Rifle Coffee Company, live from the Star in Frisco, Texas, in the SWBC studios here on this Victory Monday. As the Cowboys walk into the Steel City and they rip open a bag of Black Rifle coffee. They took every single bit of the bag, made sure at the end of it was a 20-17 win for the Cowboys. They are now 3-2 on the 2024 season. Hello, everybody. Welcome in. I hope you had even just a little bit of rest, Cowboys Nation, because we've got plenty of time to talk about this one. And there's a lot to talk about moving forward. We've got Patrik No C Walker, a.k.a. Patrik No Sleep Walker today, baby.
That's me, baby.
No sleep. We've got Josh Rodriguez, Isaiah Stanback. Hi. I'm Kyle Youmans, Chris Beam in the back. You guys got in at 5 a.m. this morning?
Yeah, touchdown on the tarmac at 5 a.m.
Okay. What was tell me your game plan after that. What happened?
I went home. I showered to get the airplane off me.
Yep.
That's
You
science.
know how it goes. And then I started the rewatch on the game because it's no point in going to sleep, really. And plus, I had another couple articles I needed to finish up for Cowboys Nation because science doesn't sleep. So, no, not the hell of science.
No.
Josh.
That's a shirt
So
right
worked
there.
on a couple articles, and they'll be dropping after Talkin Cowboys.
Bang.
And, I did some rewatch as much as I could before the alarm went off, letting me know that I needed to come in so I can hang with my guys.
Nice.
Science said to heck with your sleep, right?
Yeah.
You weren't coming to hang with your
yeah,
guys. You're coming
yeah.
to talk with your guys.
Yeah. I'm coming to talk Cowboys.
Talk
You watch your language,
guys.
sir.
Coming
You
to
watch your language. We talk Cowboys.
I saw we.
Uh,
I have failed this.
Beamer, did you get any sleep last night? Did you get any shut eye whatsoever, or were the kids ready to hang out at 5 a.m.?
No, I got home at 5:49.
Okay. Walked in the door.
Yeah, walked in the door and just kind of sat there.
Yeah, man.
I got about an hour and a half on the
Felt.
plane because I was
Yeah.
like,
See,
I was
can't.
falling asleep while I was logging the game.
No,
so
man. Yeah, you had
I'm
to
like,
shut
I
the
need to
laptop
get,
down.
I need to get one like an hour in. I'm good, and then that's what it was.
See, I can't sleep on planes, and I can't sleep in cars.
that's
when the passenger-
I sleep before we even take off.
Yep.
I
Same
can't
here.
do it.
Any mode of
in
transportation,
first class,
I'm good.
no less.
Huh?
In first
Yeah,
class,
in first
no
class.
less.
Well, I'm not paying for it.
We
If I'm paying for it, I'm in the back.
We heard the story in
I've
training.
heard
Kev.
different.
Yeah, we heard the story in training.
I don't
Kev.
know, man.
No, I'm very much a point A to point B guy.
Yeah, whatever. No, you're not. We've already talked about this before.
if I'm
you
purchasing
left
a
me
ticket,
and
what'd you drive
Kaden
here?
and
He
Coach.
upgrade free.
did.
It What'd you was a drive free here?
It was not a free upgrade.
It was a free.
It was a cheaper
Oh, that's right.
upgrade.
That's right. That's true.
Yeah,
That's right. You're right.
Yeah,
That was like a $70 upgrade.
It's still,
caught it
you
in the
left
lie.
your boys in the back.
Hey, A to B.
The rest of the ticket was free, though.
Yeah, okay, whatever.
So it only cost me
Caught in the
70.
lie.
Hey, A to B. How did you get here today?
A to B.
I drove a vehicle.
What's the vehicle?
What vehicle is it?
It's not a sponsor.
It's not a sponsored vehicle.
But if you guys want to make it a sponsor, feel free to
Hey,
call
you
me
know
at
what?
206. No.
The way you escaped that, though, that was like Dak and those boys escaping last night.
I like it. 20-17. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't perfect. But
Oof.
my goodness, they got it done. Gutsy win, Patrik.
You talk about grit, perseverance, resilience, all of the words that are synonymous with the ability to, be up against endless adversity. And some of it was out of your control, and a lot of it was within your control, right? It started off with Mother Nature. She had to have her say with it.
90 minutes worth.
Right. And, delayed that game quite a bit. And then once the game got going, you were moving the ball offensively how you wanted to down the field, but every single time you got within the 30s and in the red zone, there was something that killed you. Whether it was a penalty, a backbreaking penalty, or it was an interception being thrown on a miscommunication on that route with CeeDee Lamb, the sack fumble that was lost by Dak Prescott. There was one thing after another. You lose Marshawn Nealon to injury in a game where you already didn't have Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence. Nealon did not return to that game. You lost Tyler Guyton at one point in the game for the remainder of the game. You lost Zach Martin for a big chunk of the fourth quarter. He did come back on the final drive, but he was out for quite a bit. And even with Zach in, Dak Prescott was under a lot of duress from T.J. Watt and Cameron Hayward in that front. And just at the end of the day, I mean, you had even another adversity. On top of everything I said, the universe tested you one more time. God was like, let me show you one more time. You got to do this one more time. Rico Dowdle having a career game is playing on the screen behind us. He leaps over or tries to leap over the scrum. He gets met. Ball pops out, and time stops moving because that ball was on the ground, and it's anybody's money.
Forever.
And if the Steelers pick it up, it's ball game.
Game over.
But there goes Dak Prescott after the game he had. What does he do? He puts that $60 million on top of that ball.
Reflexes of a
He
cat.
puts that $60 million on top of that ball. Gives the Cowboys a 4th and one more shot to win the game. And then what does he do? He drops back and he hits Jalen Tolbert, who on the previous play, for all intents and purposes, was the first receiver to ever get sacked, if you know what I mean. Took it to the private parts. And ended up having a career game and a go-ahead touchdown, man. Resilience, perseverance, grit, all of the things.
It was nuts.
It was nuts. It was a mess, and it didn't have to be a mess for the Cowboys. They could have blown that team out. But when the chips were absolutely down, they got the job done, and I ain't apologizing for a win.
No, can't apologize for the win. No, absolutely not. But I'm gonna take one of my wins here today.
Take it.
All right. We discussed this on Friday.
Take that.
We were discussing high five.
Yeah.
Kyle was doing his thing, and I feel like one of the top performers of the game might have been one of my high fives.
Say it.
Oh, yeah.
Rico. Shouts to Rico. Wow, dude, because he absolutely showed up and rushed for. I'm gonna round up because of Jerry Madelon. 90 yards rushing, baby. We called it.
114 from scrimmage.
That was the thing. The first time this year that a running back has had over 100 from scrimmage, and it really hadn't been close. He was effective. He and Isaiah pointed this out on the first word that I thought was perfect on how it all unfolded. This offense was not in a rhythm.
No.
Rico Dowdle slowed them down, kept it all under control, and allowed for that rhythm to be established. So that way in the fourth quarter when they needed some scores, they found them.
Absolutely.
Nicely done.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. He was.
Josh Stradamus is back.
He was in a rhythm, as it were. You know what I mean? He found his rhythm. He was doing good. No, other than that.
We're doing it again. Going right back into it.
Oh, yeah.
You know why he was in the rhythm?
Why?
Could have gave him 20 touches.
Yeah.
They gave him 20 touches.
Time to build on that performance.
So, at no point in time did you. So, I'm going to say it like this. First of all, congratulations to the Dallas Cowboys. You take a dub however you get a dub. Okay, I don't care. It's the second week in a row. Is Bubba Sparks ugly? That's okay. We take it. Right? You add it to the doggone record books, and that's good. That's positive. You move on from that. As to your point, you're not going to apologize for it. A lot of stuff has to get cleaned up. And I'm unsure as to what in the entire heck Coach Tomlin and Arthur Smith and them were doing over there for the Steelers. But thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for not running the ball consistently.
You ran the ball just as effectively as the Dallas Cowboys. Same average yards per carry, 3.5. But one team stuck with it and gave their guy 20. The other guy stuck with it and gave him like 14. So not sure what happened there, but thank you. I'm not sure why you played 9 yards off of CD and Tolbert the entire game and just gave them underneath hitch and curl routes all day long. But thank you. Thank you for not doing anything with the 4 turnovers that the Dallas Cowboys had. Thank you. Thank you for not doing anything with the 11 penalties that the Dallas Cowboys had. Thank you. Oh, thank you for letting Justin Fields throw the ball all day long. He's not a proven thrower down the field. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So sometimes it just goes your way, right? So I posed a question: did the Dallas Cowboys get a gift, or did they take this win? Right? Did they take that? Either way, it's a dub. Okay, but there's a lot of things that have to get cleaned up, right? And I'm not going to sit up here and I'm not going to be negative Nancy, but I'm not going to sit up here and be like, oh, yeah, the Cowboys did that thing.
Right.
No, this was nasty, ugly.
It's a mess.
You figured it out, but no. Okay, no.
Just
no. And I don't know another way to say it. Like, I'm not hating. I know people are going to be mad at me for saying it. Happy you get the dub. I will take a dub any way you can. I don't care if you army crawl and get this thing. I don't care if you jump on a doggone grenade and save the ball and throw a touchdown on the next play. That's all awesome.
I'm going to catch a grenade.
Dude, but this stuff has to get cleaned up, man.
Yeah.
You know, and they overcame a lot. Man. So I give them a lot of props for that in terms of the injuries, especially, right? You talked about Marshawn Nealon going down, so you're down your top 4 pass rushers now.
We're going to get into that.
You're down your top 4 pass rushers when you factor in Sam Williams going on IR. You factor in Marshawn Nealon going out the game. Micah Parsons not there. D-Law not there. You're missing your guys, okay? Then you factor in the standpoint that you lost offensive lineman. Mm-hmm. You lost your starting, your starting left tackle, right? Yeah. He man down. Okay, that wasn't good. Okay, but you had Bass that came in. Bass came in immediately and wants to start throwing punches for your fisticuffs, UFC. We love that character. We love that intensity. But, bruh. I'm sorry, Hoffman.
Yeah.
My apologies. Hoffman came in and wanted to brawl.
Bass wanted the smoke too, but he did it
Bass
on the
wanted the
field.
smoke too, but he did it
within the
whistles.
whistles.
Also,
Hoffman got pulled for that, huh?
Hoffman got flagged for retaliating.
But he did.
A lot of times that's how it goes.
That's the discipline. That's the discipline aspect. And we were talking. I mean, I feel like that was a topic of discussion all of last night. Is this is just not a disciplined football team, and on both sides. Like if you factor in the penalties as well, you're just not seeing a team that has it all together, that is ready for the moment like that. And Brock Hoffman was, for me, just a. It was an all-encompassing moment when that happens. It's like you
can't do that.
Zeke. I think it was like a 15-yard carry at that point. Gets him down the field. We're at the 47, and then he makes that penalty. Yeah. Moves us back 15 yards even after we made the first step.
Yep. So
one step forward, 2 steps back, quite literally when it comes to the discipline of the team.
On this, I'm going to say the 11 penalties, and the receipts are there because I live tweet the game, and I was keeping a tab of the penalties, much to my chagrin, and I was basically pointing out #SIW, self-inflicted wounds. The Cowboys need to stop with the self-inflicted wounds. They dog walk the Steelers if they don't have so many self-inflicted wounds. And to frame what Isaiah is saying, he's absolutely correct. It was a mess of a game, and they do have a lot to improve upon. But it's also true, as Isaiah is saying, is that they emptied the clip into their foot. They didn't just shoot themselves in the foot. They emptied the clip into their own foot.
Plexico burst.
And then at the last second, they were able to save the foot.
Yeah,
that's crazy. But
jumped on the grenade.
But coming back to the penalties real quick, that particular penalty,
we went into the ER.
I know, right? They saved the foot. They saved the foot. And I was watching ER on Pop as I was getting dressed. So that's in forefront of my mind. I'm actually going to come to the defense of Brock Hoffman on that particular penalty.
Okay.
Because I hate that the penalty was called. But if you go back and you look at what happened, that wasn't the first time that the Steelers were trying to bully the Cowboys. Mm-hmm. We talk all day, every week, about physicality and setting the tone. And now you're going against a Mike Tomlin-led Steelers defense and offense that want to impose themselves on their field and make you feel small. Right? And the game is still close, and they're trying to find ways. They're frustrated now. They're trying to find ways to get into your head because you're in their head now. Strategy. So then what happens? Brock Hoffman comes in. They look at Brock Hoffman and say, oh, man, young guy just came in. You, come here. You going to eat your cornbread?
Ain't nobody going to touch my cornbread.
That's what Brock Hoffman said. Brock Hoffman said,
what size shoe are you?
Brock Hoffman said, anybody touch my cornbread, part 2 of my killing spree. Going to start up in here on the Steelers. So I come to Brock Hoffman's defense in that capacity, much like Jordan Lewis versus George Pickens. Jordan Lewis was in George Pickens' head all day long. So what did George Pickens start to do? He's grabbing face masks. He's trying to
I hope he gets suspended for that. Not to sound like a whiny fan
no.
media member.
CeeDee Lamb could get fined for doing a first place gesture. Then
he needs to get suspended at least a game or a half or something. I don't even know.
I'm coming to Brock Hoffman's defense on that. The other penalties, can't happen. But that particular penalty, I'm fine with a guy who's trying to bully you like bully him back.
Yeah,
and
like
then if you get the flag for that, if I'm Mike McCarthy, I'm like, okay, look, next time, just try not to get caught.
It was unfortunate when it happened. Like Josh is saying, you just had some momentum. You're running downfield. You're kind of pushing things finally, and then, there you go.
And it's one thing if you're penalized. It's another thing when it actually hurts your team.
Yeah,
I mean, you had momentum there.
That's the only penalty I will come to the defense of.
I'm not coming to the defense. I like the attitude. I like the tenacity. But the thing is, you literally at that position. It's not like you play receiver and you don't know next time you're going to get a chance to go crack back on the safety. You get to hit that dude every play. You get to hit that guy every play. So I'm not gonna let nobody punk me either. But I promise you, all right. I got you. Next play. Yeah. I have you for the rest of the game.
I just feel like I harken back to this is upbringing too.
But this goes back to training camp. Two training camps.
I get that. For me, this is upbringing too, and those who can relate can relate. It's one of those things where the principal calls your mama, right? You got in a fight at school. Principal calls mom dukes. You just know you're in trouble when you get home. You're like you go home. You got tears in your eyes. You're ready to explain, but you just know you're gonna get it, right? And mom walks up to you and she's like, talk to Principal so and so, and did you win? Did you at least win?
Yeah,
right. They started it.
I feel you.
You're gonna be on punishment. Yeah, right. I'm taking your devices.
Yeah, but you didn't get punked, and I appreciate that.
But did you win?
Yeah,
right. So it's kind of
to me, winning the game is more important.
No, for sure.
I mean, I get that. I'm saying in the moment.
Hey, can we address this real quick? I know we got to go to break here in a minute.
Yeah.
Just so you guys know what CD Lamb said to Dak Prescott on the sideline after Dak threw the interception. He said, throw the jump ball. That's what he said. For all those that are confused if the CD was causing controversy again, he said, throw the jump ball. I got you. That's what he said. Okay, for those that don't read lips, throw the jump ball. And if those are wondering what a jump ball is, don't try to be so precise. If it is too high safety, you're trying to put it in the hole. Throw the ball up and let me go get a 50-50 ball because it's not a 50-50 ball with me. That's what he was telling Dak. Give me a chance. And Dak is in the zone. He's thinking through it as a quarterback. When you make a turnover like that, you're literally sitting there trying to think back through what happened. How can I have done it better? Why did I make that decision? And make sure I don't make that mistake again. So that's why Dak was zoned out. He wasn't ignoring him.
Yeah.
He was zoned out trying to think through the mistake he just made and how can I make sure it doesn't happen again. So I just want to clear that up for people.
And I think the NBC broadcast kind of maybe stirred the pot a little bit there.
Absolutely.
Chris was talking about Chris was talking about it, and he was like, oh, maybe there's more discourse. They also called the Spanish radio team the medical examiners up in the press box. Did you see that?
No.
So they were talking about the medical personnel in the press box, and they showed a clip of our Spanish broadcast of Victor and
you want to know why they did?
And,
what do you say, Beamer?
They put.
You want to know why they did?
Why is that?
Because they were sharing the booth with them. It was in their booth, but it was like it was a bigger booth. So they were on one side, and the NFL medical video team was on the other, and they got the wrong side.
Like prominent accounts were talking because one of our producers was in the back with a star shirt on with a polo on, and they were like, why are the medical examiners in the back with the Cowboys staffer? Like, what is going on? So a couple things from NBC. It's not always as you seem or as it seems moving forward. Yeah, it's good
funny,
talking points. It is really, really funny.
On that side, they were talking medical. On our side, we were making
it happen. So the Cowboys get it done, 20-17. But as Patrick, Isaiah, Josh, and myself alluded to, it was sloppy. And you've got some fallout. There are some guys that are banged up. We're going to talk about which is most impeding to the momentum for the Cowboys moving forward.
Big game.
They've won 2 straight. They're 3-2. And now they've got some other guys that are out. Let's see if we can get some updates. When we come back with more, what?
Nothing.
With more Talking Cowboys right after this.
If you're looking for fresh American roasted coffee that gives back, you need to head to your local grocery store and pick up a bag of Black Rifle coffee. That's right, America's coffee is now available in the coffee aisle of a grocery store near you. Black Rifle Coffee Company is veteran-founded with a mission to give back to those brave men and women who have served our nation. Every bag, box, or can you purchase helps support that mission. Head to your local grocery store and roast yourself some Black Rifle coffee today.
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now, Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is, Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is stop running and toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP.
If you shout, "How about them Cowboys?" you have that undeniable passion that's the heart of Cowboys Nation. And if you like to drink Dr. Pepper, you love the unique blend of its 23 flavors. Together, your one-of-a-kind fandom paired with the one-of-a-kind taste of a delicious ice-cold Dr. Pepper is the game day lineup that can't be beat. Better yet, gather your Cowboys and Dr. Pepper fan friends to watch the next game and crack open a delicious ice-cold Dr. Pepper for everyone. The wins will be even tastier. It's a pepper thing.
Back to Talkin Cowboys.
Back here on Talking Cowboys, this portion of the show is brought to you by Quaker Oats, the official oatmeal sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys. Quaker Oats, trusted since 1877. Isaiah's got his oats. He's finishing them up right as we speak. Well done, sir.
Top of the morning to you.
And just since we have the Bulls in the process, remember what I said 2 weeks ago, that if you didn't win both of those games, I would sit
ask
here
you about this,
and I would
they won both.
Slam that panic button. You know what, guys? You did your job. I'm going to put that thing back down.
Put the top back on.
We're okay. We're okay. 3-2. Now, I said this in the break. That the Cowboys, if they play like they did last night, if they play like they did last week against the Giants, and they do that over the next 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 games, there's going to be a chance for me to pick that panic button right back up. Maybe even hover over the top of it, but I haven't gotten there yet. And the Cowboys are 3-2, and we're okay. We're okay right now.
For those that are watching Talking Cowboys right now, Kyle last week took the top off.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? He took the top off the panic button.
2 weeks ago, actually.
2 weeks ago. His hand was
hovering for 2 weeks.
Now, he just said that the top is now placed back on. Now,
we're all right.
I follow up that statement with saying, what aspect of the Cowboys' performances over the past 2 weeks do you want to see carry over?
Run defense.
Effort. Pure effort.
Run defense, the execution and run defense.
Okay.
This is a team now. They went into Pittsburgh down Micah Parsons, down DeMarcus Lawrence, and of course all the question marks were on what will Marshawn Nealon look like with that many more reps. Chauncey Golston versus Carl Lawson, and how does that look? Well, you lose Marshawn Nealon to add insult to literal injury, and they still shut down the Steelers on the ground, including the designed QB runs by Justin Fields. And they were able to get more pressure than they were in the previous 2 matchups. So for me, I want to see the execution. And one example of the execution being on one of those designed runs on the third and 3, I want to say. You have Justin Fields. He gets the ball, tries to go QB design off the left guard, and the discipline to remain in your keys and in your roles to stop that from being a conversion. That's what I want to see. The execution and the run defense. This is now 2 games in a row. One against 2 mobile quarterbacks. Daniel Jones can get out there and run as well. I'm liking what I'm seeing here, and if you can do this with role players. No reason you shouldn't be able to continue it when Micah and Tank are back together on the field.
I agree and disagree. Before you go, Josh, I agree and disagree. I agree on the aspect that you have guys that are on the depth, right, and underneath the depth that
shout out to Tyrus Wheat as well.
I love me some Tyrus Wheat.
Shout out to Tyrus Wheat.
Yeah, you said it.
I love Tyrus Wheat.
If we're talking about a penalty that you're actually okay with, I'm okay with his.
Oh, you're okay with penalties?
I'm okay with his.
You're okay with penalties now.
That was a solid football play. I mean, I don't think that was.
You're talking about the roughing
hit.
The passer.
I don't think that was an egregious hit at all. He didn't hit him under the chin. That was
totally.
That was
Chauncey, right?
Oh
no, that was Tyrus Wheat.
He lunged.
That was Wheat.
That was Wheat.
He propelled himself up. Yeah, I remember that. That was a penalty. I'm not okay with that one. But
I was all right.
So I like the fact that guys who are down on the depth chart are gaining experience because that's important for later on in the season.
Yeah.
Right? It's very important for depth purposes for later on in the season. I disagree with the fact that we shut down their running game. I think they abandoned their running game.
Isn't that one and the same?
Inexplicably.
No, it's not one and the same. One is something that you shut down. Another one is one that
it's not like they were running.
Let me ask you this question: Did Dallas have a good running game last night?
Yes.
They had the same exact yardage per carry.
No, they didn't. No.
Hold on. Let me hear
No. Wait.
See what Kyle's saying.
The Cowboys did not have a good running attack last night. Were they the most effective that they've been all year long? Absolutely. But 3.5 yards per carry is not adequate to a good run game. They were more effective, and they utilized Rico Dowdle in a specific way that is encouraging moving forward. Not a good rushing attack. Pittsburgh on the same side, also 3.5 yards per carry. I don't think that's a good rushing attack. Najee Harris did not have any spark.
That's what they averaged coming into the game. That was the same average they had coming into the game, and we consider them to have a good running attack.
Rico,
we talked about it last week.
We got to add some context.
Wait a second. Last week in QB Vision, you talked about the way that they throw the football a whole lot more than you talked about the way that they run it.
Yeah, I said they ran it 35 times. I said they don't run it.
They run it a lot.
They don't have a lot of yards per game, but they stick to the run.
And they didn't.
Yeah, they didn't. So that's what I'm saying.
Didn't mean they were efficient.
I would say they were efficient.
I think they looked at it and they said, you know what? We have a better shot at this trying to get a banged-up secondary and a banged-up pass rush and giving Justin Fields time to throw. And Dallas did a better job of pass rush in terms of getting things taken care of and getting in the backfield and forcing Justin Fields.
I still think we have room to grow in terms of rush defense. So that's why I disagree on that because Dallas has 7 more rushes. Okay, or let me see. Dallas had 5 more rushes and 17 more yards. Okay, I think if Pittsburgh continues on what they were doing on the ground, okay, and stuck to it instead of putting it in Justin Fields' hands, I think it's probably a little bit different ball game. So I don't know that my bubble guts are gone in terms of this rush defense.
No.
That's all I'm saying.
No. I'm not saying it's fixed.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm saying I need them to continue at minimum. This needs to be the floor.
Okay.
Right? Because prior to the New York Giants game, the floor was in the 7th circle of hell.
So this is a bar. If this is a bar graph. We rose from the depths,
right?
Okay, but are you still going up, or is this flat line the last 2 weeks?
No, flat. I would say it's equal the last 2 weeks.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying what we've seen against the Giants and the Steelers, as far as run defense is concerned, this now needs to be the floor. This needs to be the worst type of performance going forward. There needs no longer be a performance that's worse than these two. Because if you can give me this as the floor,
that should be
then
easy.
You can build upon that.
That's going to be easy.
I wanted to make sure
Detroit's next week, San Francisco's
I wanted to make sure that was.
We're going to be fine.
For that reason, though. Like, that's why I wanted to clear that up because I don't want people thinking that we're sitting up here saying that this rush defense is good. It's not. It's not good. It's just the team that we played last night was not persistent enough last night for whatever reason. All year long, they were running 35 times a year, and they face us, they run 26. It wasn't because we were stopping them. It was because they just had terrible play calling.
I think it was a combination of the two. I think the Cowboys made it so
play calling was
trash.
I think the Cowboys started to make it difficult enough where that's when they started to. I think that's what Kyle is saying. I think it's a mix. I think the truth lies in between what both of you are saying. I think they started to abandon the run because the run was not as effective as they thought it would be in the absence of Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence. So even when you look at, I think it was like 3rd and long and then 3rd and 8, I believe, and handoff to the left side. Thanks. Tomlin and Arthur Smith appreciate that, right? But then after that, when that didn't convert, you started to then see them trust the run less and less and put the game more and more on Justin Fields. But Fields had already shown you earlier in the game when he overthrew that deep shot to the left side that wasn't going to be Pittsburgh Steelers Justin Fields. That was going to be Chicago Bears Justin Fields.
It was closer to that last night.
Right. The overthrows,
Soldier
all over the field.
We talked about that he does not throw the ball down the field well.
Yeah.
He just does not throw, which is why up until they played the Dallas Cowboys, they ran the ball more than they threw it.
Yeah.
But they got themselves in a situation later on in the game because they threw so early, right, that they couldn't run. I guess they felt like they couldn't run as effectively as they wanted to, right? But they abandoned what they have shown on film up to the time that they played the Dallas Cowboys. They abandoned that. They completely abandoned their typical strategy in terms of how they run the ball, and it wasn't because of what I'm saying. Don't puff your chest up and feel as if you're the reason why they didn't run the ball 35 times. No. Because that's the same effectiveness they had all year long. 35, they ran 35 attempts per game, and they were running for 3.5 yards a carry. So it wasn't like they're like, we're just not effective today. No. You're getting the same yardage you're used to getting. You just didn't stick with the run. So I don't want Dallas to feel like, running defense is solid. Because you got some dogs coming up that we got to figure it out.
That's the floor now.
Okay.
And I feel like one thing they really did, and I don't know that it's fixed, but if you take this facet that I'm about to mention out of the run defense and just isolate it, I think this is as close to fixed as you'll see until we get more data. Stopping mobile quarterbacks, sealing the edge. We've seen them seal the edge against Daniel Jones, and we definitely saw them seal it against Justin Fields, forcing him to remain in the pocket to try to make those throws. We'll see how that looks against a mobile quarterback in Brock Purdy and some of these other guys. And C.J. Stroud is going to be the next biggest test in that capacity outside of what Lamar Jackson was, and they failed the Lamar Jackson test. And Jalen Hurts. Well, I don't know, because Kellen Moore has him throwing more than he has him doing design.
No, you're right. But still, he
thanks for that. But and I will say this, to Isaiah's point, the rushing attack for the Cowboys, I say it was a good game because of one guy in particular, and this goes to Josh's guy. Well, Josh's Rico had a really good game on the ground.
4.4 average.
That 3.5 yard average, it's being kind of anchored by 3 yards per carry here, Dak Prescott, and 2.8 from Ezekiel Elliott.
Agreed.
But Rico
was
had
fine.
a damn good game against a top 2 run defense.
You're absolutely correct.
So as a collective, could it be better? Yes. You want more from Ezekiel Elliott and Hunter Lipke? Yes, we'll get to him.
But they committed to the run.
When I say we'll get to him in a good way, shouts out to H-Train, Hunter by Hunter, Lil Mike Allstar, whatever you want to call him. But Rico Dowdle, for all intents and purposes, he had a career game, which really you could say contextually he went off. If you look at that versus his other games.
Just love the fact that they committed to the run and they stuck with it. They ran the ball 31 attempts. 31 attempts. I'm not sure if that's the most on the year, but I would imagine so. Right?
It feels
31 attempts. We threw it 42 times, right? Still don't want to be throwing the ball 40 times a game. But you ran it 31 times, and that is more than we can say about this year's Dallas Cowboys. And I think that they need to do more of that because Dak's a better quarterback when he has that. That's just facts.
Yeah.
That's just facts. Most quarterbacks are.
In pregame.
Yeah, most quarterbacks are, but especially Dak, he needs a sustainable run game, man. And it doesn't have to be big splash plays all the time, but just give me some good down and distance. Give me something that I can turn around and hand the ball off. And then guess what? Because of that, now guys like Tolbert get opportunities, right? So you want to start playing soft on defense and playing 7 yards off? I'll take that hitch all day long.
Right.
All day long until you come up and press.
Mike McCarthy, when we were asking about the rushing attack and what you could add to this rushing attack, he said we need more plays, which I completely get. You need a bigger sample size, you need more consistency, and you need to have enough wiggle room in order to get there. Well, they ran 75 plays last night, right? What was
73?
73 plays. So if you put together 73 plays on the road like you did last night, you have an opportunity to establish the run and still have a balanced attack. Because even though you threw it 41 times, like you said, they still stuck to the run.
And you won time
They
possession.
didn't throw it 50-20. They ran it 32-41, whatever it ended up being. That's a great balance, and I think it's something that, one, is a testament to Rico Dowdle and how he ran the ball, because instead of 3rd and long, 4th and long, he's taking chunk yardage and he's setting you up for 3rd and short, 2nd and short, things like that. He was better in space than he has been at any point all year. He had a phenomenal grab on the touchdown grab.
That's not an easy catch for a running back.
No, it is not. All together, the running attack is still more to be desired. But Rico Dowdle was a dude last night. Rico Dowdle was the reason that you won that football game. And he's not the only one. There's a lot of other guys that contributed, like you said.
Jumping on a grenade.
Tolbert, Dak, everybody had a piece in it.
Jake Ferguson.
But Rico was a big reason for that.
I kind of want to talk about that a little bit. Dak, you mentioned Dak. To me, that he could have been the reason why you won and the reason why you lost.
Yeah.
I think there was a lot of obviously the 2 picks were pretty costly. Ultimately,
bad. Don't throw those.
So
one of them was a miscommunication. The one at the pylon, I'm almost certain.
I said that on Twitter as well.
Yeah, because Dak was throwing pylon.
He threw to the spot.
Correct.
And the receiver
was
kept going. That's a clear miscommunication on route.
We were talking about that in studio. That's at least whenever I looked at it there, it still wasn't a great throw because he wasn't there.
It was the second pick that concerned me.
The one deep seam to Tolbert in triple coverage. Don't do that ever again. Please don't.
That reminded me of a CD Lamb pick a couple years ago over the middle.
Yeah,
I don't know. It might have been 22 against the Bears at home a couple years ago.
It was the opposite seam, though. It was left seam deep. I think I know what you're
talking about. It's a different seam, but similar play.
Can we clap our hands for Kavante Turpin?
Absolutely.
He did a good job.
We talked about Kavante Turpin and talked about Kavante Turpin has a really good release off the line of scrimmage.
Don't you say
Kavante Turpin runs really good routes. I said one thing, and this goes all the way back to training camp. Remember, we're watching individual. I said he just doesn't have confidence in his hands.
Yep.
Everything else about him as a receiver is on point. He just doesn't trust his hands. But if you can get him some consistent opportunities and get him to get some receptions in a game, he will build that one thing that every player on the field needs, and that's confidence. And if you get a confident Kavante Turpin, get him believing that he can make these plays, believing that he's a trusted resource by catching the ball, he can be one heck of a threat for this team because he could be one of the most dangerous slots in this game if he figures that aspect out. If he gets confident catching the ball, you can't press him, right? You can't run with them, right? And you can't stay with him at the top of the route. All of a sudden, that turns into one heck of a receiver.
Yeah.
Right.
So
if he has hands,
continue to give him opportunities. He had 5 attempts. He had 4 receptions, 50 yards. Super proud of him and his development and the commitment that he's made to not only himself but the team in terms of wanting to be more than what he was slotted to be when they brought him in terms of being just a specialist, a return man. He's becoming a huge contributor for this offense. And I'm telling you, fans give him his flowers. Because what you're seeing is the rise of somebody who's going to make you guys win a lot of games this year.
Ooh, that boy preaching. That boy preaching.
Yeah.
Talk to him, Pastor. Yeah. We've been talking about this. We've been begging for it for weeks. I've been begging for it for months. We've been begging for it for
that boy's good.
That boy good. Begging for it for a couple seasons now. Get Kavante Turpin more involved in the offense, period. And it needs to be more just on end arounds. And by the way, it's time to get away from end arounds. Maybe fake the end around because it's not working out. But Kavante Turpin continues to show that when you utilize him as a traditional receiver, middle downfield, he can make plays. So thank you for that, Mike McCarthy. Thank you.
Awesome.
And don't abandon it going forward. Don't you do it. Don't you do it.
Don't you do it.
Don't you do it.
Is it enough for Kavante Turpin to get a helmet sticker, to get a smelly sticker? When we come back, we give our players of the game. There are plenty of opportunities to find that scratch and sniff this week. The Cowboys beat the Steelers 20-17, the final in Week 5. We'll be right back with more Talking Cowboys right after this.
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now, Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is, Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is stop running and toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
They say champions are remembered, but legends are never forgotten. United Ag & Turf offers a winning lineup of John Deere equipment built to tackle any challenge on and off the field. Legendary John Deere tractors, combines, residential mowers, commercial mowers, compact construction equipment, Gator utility vehicles, and a full line of golf and sports turf equipment. United Ag & Turf, the official Ag & Turf equipment supplier of the Dallas Cowboys. Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com to find a location near you.
Hey y'all, Matt Pittman of Meat Church here. With football season kicking off, I'm already gearing up to bring the smoker back to AT&T Stadium for some epic tailgates. But with that Texas heat, it's crucial to keep my beer hand cramping cold. That's where Yeti's insulated Colster can cooler comes in clutch. This year, you can even get them with the iconic star engraved on the side. Licensed Yeti Cowboys gear is now available at Stadium Pro Shops, concessions, and on Yeti.com. Check it out today. Yeti, official cooler and drinkware of the Dallas Cowboys.
And we're going to overtime.
Erica, how much have I spent on concessions?
For questions about their money, Dallas Cowboys fans can turn to Erica, the virtual financial assistant in the Bank of America mobile banking app. Learn more at bankofamerica.com/Erica by your side. Bank of America, official bank of the Dallas Cowboys. Erica responses may vary. Digital tools featured require downloading the mobile banking app and may only be available on select mobile devices. Erica is a mobile feature only available in the English language. Your chat may be recorded and monitored for quality assurance. Message and data rates and additional terms may apply. Bank of America, N.A., member FDIC.
Back to Talkin Cowboys.
And only on Hispanic heritage.
Talking fruit.
Talking fruit. Back here on Talkin Cowboys, presented by Black Rifle Coffee Company. This segment is brought to you by Invisalign, the official smile of the Dallas Cowboys. We are all smiles on a Victory Monday here from the Star. Oh, man, that turnaround after the rain delay, the late night, the post-game. And
what did you guys do during the rain delay?
We waited.
Did you just chill there?
I would have taken a nap. Because I would have immediately, I was like, oh, it's going to be a late night.
Yeah.
It's going to be a late night. I'm tucking under one of the press boxes and just
honestly,
bro.
Now I finished my setup and everything, and I pulled a couple more stats. But I was watching October baseball.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good one.
I was studying. I don't know what Kyle did.
Yeah,
I was studying.
That's not true. Yeah, Isaiah's trying to get us all in trouble. All right, it's time now for our helmet stickers, our scratch and sniff. This will be a fun segment because there are plenty of very deserving parties. Let's go with you, Patrick. Let's start things off.
Alrighty, so I'm going to go with the cupcake.
Ooh.
I'm going with the cupcake, ladies and gentlemen.
Cupcake. Very sweet.
The cupcake, for me, is exactly what the Cowboys' defensive line, even without Micah Parsons, even without DeMarcus Lawrence, and without Marshawn Nealon, this is what they made the Steelers' offense look like for most of the game.
A cupcake?
Cupcakes.
Oh. Ooh.
They walked into the Steel City surrounded by terrible towels in horrible weather and said, we're going to take this from you and it's going to be delicious.
How was the crowd?
Crowd was electric, dude.
A lot of Cowboys there?
It was actually more than I thought there would be. It was by far it was not a takeover.
Nice.
You don't it was by far it was not a takeover. You don't take over that stadium.
Of course not.
But there were a good bit of Cowboys fans. Shout out to the Cowboys fans who went out to Acrisure Stadium. And I know for a fact some of those fans, because a couple of them are my friends, actually traveled from California for that game.
Oh wow.
Hey, baby.
There you go.
So
it's weird not hearing Heinz Field. You know what I mean?
I know it takes me to Acrisure. Like,
I don't
are you sure?
Yeah. They still have like Heinz, like
the signage,
in there, and it's like, it's not.
But those cupcakes were delicious. Thanks for that defensive line.
Yes, sir.
All right, Beamer. You see it? Can we zoom in?
Oh.
What I have here is a little pineapple. Okay, little young pineapple.
Yeah.
Studying.
Yeah.
Okay, you know who this is?
Who that?
This is Jalen Tolbert. He's been sitting back studying all this time, preparing for this opportunity. And when the opportunity presented itself for him to be the number 2 receiver on this team, he stood up and he stood out. Came through. You know why?
Game-winning
because
touchdown.
he sat back and he prepared in anticipation for his chance at stardom, and he took it.
Even after they hit him in the pineapples.
That could have been there too.
Took one to the pineapples and
you get the point of the star, sir.
That's awesome. And honestly, if you knew Jalen Tolbert, like we've gotten to know him quite a bit over the last couple of years.
Fantastic dude, man.
I'm so happy for him.
It's good for him
because he's gone through a lot. He's had to really. I'm using that one. I'm not. He's had to go through a couple of different things along the way, just within the career, just to get to that point. And the fact that he had that moment initially, where he was hitting the private parts, as he said, post game, and oh gosh,
I told you guys it was
brain down low. Yeah,
it
was.
But I know hit to the cojones when I see it.
Oh man, yeah. Turn around and he has that movie moment, as a lot of people called it last night. That's what it looked like. It was a cinematic moment, and it was the way they got it done. Very happy for Jalen Tolbert.
Absolute cinema.
Absolutely. My smelly sticker has to go to the bane of the Pittsburgh Steelers. You know what I'm saying? He went in there like the Dark Knight Rises and blew up.
It's for you.
What a lovely, lovely word.
It's for you.
All right. Mine is going to Rico! And he's getting a Tres Leches cupcake. Shouts to Rico!
2 cupcakes.
And we said it. Absolutely. You needed to define yourself as the RB1 of the Dallas Cowboys. You absolutely did that on Sunday. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. That is your RB1 going forward. He made a statement, and shouts to him.
Rico looked at that defensive line, TJ Watt, and those guys, and was like, does it feel like you're in charge?
Do you feel in charge?
Feel in charge?
Get this back to the people.
Crashing this plane. You guys aren't giving me enough credit. This is a really good impression.
This is a very good Bane, actually. Yeah, very nicely done. That wasn't the only Dark Knight reference I saw on social media last night.
Yeah,
the Dak Knight.
The Dak Knight rises.
Yes.
It wasn't always perfect, but here's the thing. There are now 4 quarterbacks in the history of the NFL to have a win percentage above 700 in prime time. Joe Montana, Peyton Manning, Steve Young, and now with a 27-11 record in primetime games, Dakota Prescott. I like the way that Patrik Walker put it on Twitter early. I know the Dak Knight rises. I know all that stuff. That's great. There was even a graphic where he is Bane and he's standing in the middle of that field, Acrisure Stadium, and there's blown up stuff behind him. I like the fact that the night started with rain and it ended with a little bit of rain.
Yeah. He was born in the rain.
It wasn't, like I said, wasn't perfect. So here, I've got a pineapple here, just skating. They got there's little roller blades, little skates, and some sunglasses.
Yeah.
He just skated on by. He got that 27th primetime win. He had a couple of mistakes. He said, I've got my shades on. That doesn't bother me. I'm going to drive down the field. I'm going to deliver when I need to, right down the stretch.
There we go.
And that's exactly what happened. Dak Prescott gets my smelly sticker. You could have given it to 100 players.
Yeah, you could.
You could have given it to 100 coaches, too. I give a lot of credit to the coaching staff. It wasn't pretty. Like I said, there was a lot of sloppy, undisciplined stuff, and that's all stuff you got to take at some point away, because if you play like that next week, you're going to get beat by 3 scores against the Detroit
Do you guys have
Lions.
a lemon or a lime out there?
Oh, you want to do one?
Yeah. You got Beamer.
I think we got something.
I got one for you.
What you got?
I want to give mine to Jordan Lewis.
Yeah.
Because he made those receivers sour last night. Let me tell you on that one.
Oh, be careful.
Be
careful there.
He was making them mad last night. He got underneath their skin early
George Pickens,
and often.
Nothing.
Off his game. He really got him off his game.
Jordan Lewis is such a dog.
He's a dog.
Week in, week out.
He George picked on him. You know what I'm saying?
I want to do a couple, not a couple, but a few honorable mentions.
Okay.
For those that didn't get the smelly stickers, because we would have run out of the pack if we did that. Linval Joseph. Shouts out to Linval Joseph. Yeah. Hunter Lipke, absolutely. Kavante Turpin. Chauncey freaking Golston. Let's go. Jordan Lewis, he got a sticker. Tyrus Wheat, TJ Bass, Carl Lawson, Jake Ferguson, all guys who are in a group of those who stepped up at big times, critical times, and in one way or another made the play to help get the Cowboys to win. So just gritty win. Role players mixed with superstars. When they needed it, they got it.
Shout out to the front office.
Okay.
Will McClay and his squad.
Okay.
Shout out to those guys for putting guys on the depth chart that are competitors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's one of those games where you could easily just went out there and just said, it's not our night.
A lot of guys stepped up to the
challenge.
challenge.
A lot of guys stepped up to the challenge.
Plenty of excuses.
And a lot of those names that you just went down are guys that were just picked up along the way. Weren't high draft picks, none of that stuff. There's guys that they had to go find. So shout out to that entire department for the countless hours that they put in.
And they get a lot of flack, too.
They get a lot of flack because they don't get to make the big signings. But when you have games like this, you need those guys that are gritty. They're going to come in there and give it their all.
Gritty for the city.
You don't just win games normally. I've got this Dallas Cowboys media guide here. The 2024 media guide. This is the current one. And usually when they make these, they take the best players possible and throw them on the front of the graphic. They were without, at some significant portion of the game, 4 of the 7 guys that are on the front of this missed time yesterday or missed the entire game. So the fact that you win games like that on the road against a team that was 3-1, that at one point was one of the better teams or heralded as one of the better teams in the first month of football in 2024, all of that matters.
Don't get me started on that.
All of that
because
matters.
I understand the Giants thing. We said it. We titled that episode, Don't Hang the Banner.
Yep.
Still, you're not hanging the banner. But this win against the Steelers is a different win than the win against the Giants.
Agreed.
You were undermanned going in, more so throughout the game, who you lost, and then you beat a Steelers team who were 3-0. A lot of us thought they'd be 4-0 coming into this game.
Probably
they drop against the Colts, but this is also a Steelers team that beat the Falcons. Are the Falcons good? Yeah, Falcons are good. They also beat the Broncos, who are above 500. They've won 3 games themselves, and the Broncos went into Tampa Bay and beat the brakes off of the Buccaneers. Are the Buccaneers good?
Should be.
Okay, so if we're talking strength of schedule, if we're talking context of who you were without in this game against the Steelers, this game is absolutely a gut check game. So now build on it, and we'll talk about it when we turn the page, but build on it because you got a bigger gut check on the way. But for the moment, enjoy this and clean up the mess.
And get some sleep.
Get some sleep, please.
Yeah.
Everybody. Either that or more Black Rifle coffee.
Yeah. Get the rifle.
Make it happen. Get that Black
Put your
Rifle
coffee
ready to rock.
in your oatmeal.
Coffee,
your oatmeal, then brush up and put your Invisalign back.
Yeah,
Order your oatmeal
make
online.
it happen. Make it happen.
Yeah.
Glad you joined us here on this Victory Monday. Hope you had some fun with us, breaking it down. We'll be back tomorrow, Talking Tuesday. 888-855-2297. Send us some text messages. Give us some phone calls.
Write your questions down right now. Don't forget it. Put it in your notes.
Come on. Get ready.
Reminder.
Ready to rock tomorrow.
Let's do it.
It'll be fun. For Isaiah Stanback, Josh Rodriguez, Patrik No C Walker, Chris Beam in the back, Rico Dowdle gets it done. Along with Jalen Tolbert, Dak Prescott, and a couple others. The Cowboys win it 20-17. That does it for Talking Cowboys. We'll see you tomorrow.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!